A major shakeup at the Army after creating a new prosecutor's office within the Army to prosecute sex crimes. The man set to prosecute those crimes has been booted from the job even before the work can begin.
Fox 13's Matthew Smith has been tracking the story and how it would affect JBLM. Matt?
Well, this position had been created to take sex crime cases out of the chain of command. Really, it's a way to eliminate bias and give military survivors more protection. Now, Fox 13 has been paying extra close attention to this because we're following a major sex assault case that in the future would be playing out very differently with these new rules in place. But just days ahead of the office opening and beginning its work, the man in charge had to be booted over questions if he was biased against victims of sexual assault.
The whole point of standing up this independent office to make legal decisions of whether to prosecute or not, the whole point of it was to take the bias out of this decision-making. The fact that after a vetting process, they somehow found someone with such a clear bias against victims is astonishing and extremely alarming.
This is Josh Connolly from the group Protect Our Defenders. He's talking about the Army's move to boot Brigadier General Warren Wells from his role as the Army's top prosecutor set to oversee sex assaults and other major crimes. The move comes after a 2013 email from Wells that surfaced in which he told his staff, quote, "You and your teams are now the only line of defense against false allegations and sobriety regret." Later saying, "Congress and our political masters are dancing by the fire of misleading statistics and one-sided repetitive misinformation by those with an agenda."
It's a no-brainer. They couldn't just keep this person in because he's literally the embodiment of why we made this policy shift in the first place. What we need to know is we need transparency as to how this happened, how this broken vetting process happened.
The Army responded to this week's news by written statement, saying he was, quote, "relieved of his duties as the Army's lead special trial counsel based on a loss of trust and confidence in his ability to lead the Army Office of Special Trial Counsel." Going on to note that they've put an interim prosecutor in place to have their office online by the 28th of December.
The assailant was often someone in the survivor's chain of command. The same chain of command responsible for deciding the case.
There had been excitement about Congress and the president's push to enact a change in how sensitive military cases would no longer involve the victim's direct superiors, a conflict not seen in the civilian justice system. Fox 13 has been paying close attention because the moves came too late for more than a dozen men that say they were victimized by a military doctor at JBLM. We're still awaiting news on Major Michael Stockin and his impending court-martial.
Mid this month, they are supposed to have this office stood up and are supposed to start being the arbiter of deciding of whether what legal path these cases take. Obviously, that can't happen without someone competent in this role.
There is a sense of frustration here. It feels like one step forward, one step back. As Protect Our Defenders tells me, the devil is in the details of how people are being vetted and why an email with potentially hundreds of recipients wasn't flagged before Congress approved a position for Wells. Wells, by the way, is now being reassigned to another part of the military. In the newsroom, Matthew Smith, Fox 13 News.